For more than a year now, Brexit has been like one of those Hollywood films in which a heroine tries to save the world in a seemingly hopeless race against the clock. And although you suspect that it will probably succeed, you can never quite believe it, be sure. Brexit is just as much a race against the clock, only that it has been going on for so long that boredom is creeping in. Who wants to watch an endless action finale that is all about fishing rights? Of course, the question of whether there will be a free trade agreement between the EU and the UK is extremely important. But it is evident that only the UK is now the only place to be breathless. No wonder, because the British would suffer much more if customs duties and customs controls were introduced at the borders on January 1st. Even if you don't believe this, you can claim whatever you want. That is the way it will be. At the moment, however, politicians are raising hopes on both sides that there will not only be a deal, but maybe even this week. This is what the Irish Foreign Minister Simon Coveney claimed yesterday, and before that the British Foreign Minister Dominic Raab has said. This was the last really important week. There are still two sticking points that will never make it into an action finale. First, the question of what EU fishermen will still be allowed to fish in British waters in the future. And secondly, about the so-called level playing field. I've said it's that often that I even can't pronounce it anymore. That means the same competition rules for companies. And the first topic is trickier than the second, although it's hilarious that it is that way, but it is. But will there really be a deal this week? Or just a few minutes before midnight on New Year's Eve? Or not at all? The French European Minister Clément Beaune says we are still very far from an agreement. And if the British believe that time is playing in their pockets, as they have believed in previous years, then they are wrong. All of this is always about one thing: the political survival of Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Almost a year after his triumphant election victory, he is ailing. He's under pressure like never before. And even his own party friends are now openly asking how long he can hold out in view of the catastrophic corona balance, Brexit, and the constant turmoil in his Tory party, whose approval would be far from certain if Boris Johnson gets a deal. The British investigative journalist Tom Bower has now written a book about Johnson and takes him under his protection. He's shrewd and tough enough to rule for a very long time. I wouldn't bet on it, but we will see. And if you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Viel Spaß!